In a cozy little town called Maplewood, there lives a quiet 13-year-old girl named Hazel, her 6-year-old sister, Ruby, and her best friend, Sage. Hazel is quiet. Not shy. She knows the difference. Shy means you want to speak but cannot. Quiet means the world inside your head is so full, so rich, so detailed, that sometimes the outside just cannot keep up. As an 8th grader, she notices things others miss. The way the morning light slants through the classroom window and turns the dust into tiny galaxies. The way her dad hums the same song when he cooks. The way her best friend Sage tucks her hair behind her right ear when she's nervous. Hazel listens more than she speaks. She writes it all down. In a small blue journal she carries everywhere, Hazel writes the world the way she sees it. Beautiful, detailed, alive. But lately, that's not enough. At school, the popular kids shine. Everyone gathers around them like they are bonfires. Even the teachers call on these kids. Hazel has ideas, good ones, but by the time she's ready to share, the conversation has moved on. One Saturday afternoon, she walks through the weekend market and finds a stall she has never noticed before. A small woman with silver-streaked hair holds out a thin silver bracelet with a single bead that glows like a trapped firefly. The woman tells Hazel to put it on, promising she will become the brightest voice in every room. Hazel asks what it costs. The woman tells her it's free, but she reminds her it only shows people what she gives it. Hazel clasps the bracelet around her wrist and feels something shift, like the air around her brightens.
Time to wake up.
Monday morning, everything is different. Hazel walks into school wearing the bracelet, and people notice her. She says good morning, and everyone turns and smiles. She raises her hand, and the teacher picks her immediately. She tells a small story at lunch, and the whole table laughs. Within a week, Hazel is at the center of everything. It feels like flying. But slowly, things shift. Sage, her best friend since 2nd grade, starts sitting farther away at lunch. One day, Hazel waves her over, and Sage stays where she is, offering only a tight smile. It's clear Hazel now has her own people. One evening, Hazel bursts through the front door talking endlessly about the talent show. Her dad is humming at the stove. Her little sister Ruby holds up a coloring book, waiting to show Hazel a picture of a fox she drew. Hazel doesn't notice. She talks over her dad's humming. She barely glances at the fox. She runs upstairs to practice. Behind her, Ruby quietly closes the coloring book. At school, Hazel begins interrupting people, finishing their sentences, taking up all the air in the room. One afternoon, she overhears 2 girls whisper that Hazel used to be so nice, but now she's just a lot. That night, she stares at the bracelet glowing in the dark, and she remembers it only shows people what she gives it. The bracelet did not change her voice. It amplified whatever she put out. At first, it was her real warmth, her gentle humor, and people loved it because it was true. But the more she chased attention, the more she fed it noise instead of heart. She thinks about Sage reading alone, Ruby closing her coloring book, her dad humming his song to no one. The next morning, Hazel takes off the bracelet. She is quieter again. Some kids don't notice her as much. That's okay. At lunch, she walks to the oak tree where Sage sits reading a book about constellations.
Can I
Hazel
sit here?
asks to sit beside her. Sage makes space. Sage shares that there's a constellation called Lyra. It's one of the smallest in the sky, but it holds one of the brightest stars. Small, but bright. That evening, Hazel sits beside Ruby at the kitchen table. The coloring book is open to a fox wearing a crown. Hazel tells her it's the most royal fox she's ever seen. Ruby beams because she drew it for Hazel. Her dad hums at the stove. Hazel hums along, off-key, imperfect, and it doesn't matter at all. For the talent show, Hazel reads a poem she wrote called Small but Bright. It's about a girl who thought she needed the whole sky to shine, but discovered she only needed her own little corner of it. The auditorium is silent when she finishes. Then Sage claps. Then Ruby. Then her dad, wiping his eyes. Because that's the day Hazel learned. You don't have to be the loudest voice in the room, just the truest you.